Hi friends, welcome to yet another episode of Coffee Conversation, the emerging professional part by the Emerging India Forum TEIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, India Business Group IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business ICIB, and Prime Infotech Solution. I, Jolly Singh, associate with Prime Infotech Solution, would be taking up our today's conversation with our esteemed guest, Rajnickant Patel, sir. Former MD and CEO BSE and mentor. He has contributed to evolution in securities market, demutualisation, and policy framework. He's experienced CXO level and business advisory with demonstrated ability to turn around and scale up businesses. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So our today's topic for conversation is insights on securities market and business growth. So our format is we first cover the professional journey and then we proceed with the personal journey and end this conversation with a fun rapid fire round. So let's get started with our today's conversation, sir. And my first question to you would be that a lot of buzz is around the term business intelligence. So could you please interpret the term? What exactly is business intelligence?
Okay, that's a very relevant topic for today's time. Business intelligence, and you have also been hearing about artificial intelligence. But before artificial intelligence, business intelligence is very relevant to the modern businesses. In a way the businesses are working, they are growing, and they are sustaining. I think business intelligence is a very crucial part of the modern businesses. What do you mean actually by business intelligence? You see, any business, and of course, we generate petabytes of data, all the information, and it's like an ocean. So we might get lost. We do not make a sense of all the information floating around us. We might just get drawn in, and businesses can actually get drawn into over information, all the data. So business intelligence is making sense of all the information which is available and which may look today to us not very sensible. We need to deep dive, we need to analyze, we need to make important priorities and then analyze the data to make it more intelligible, more interpretable, and more relevant to our businesses. And that is business intelligence. You see, in short, you need to understand what your business is doing, how it is being received in the market, what is the client's reaction, how do they take all the gamut of information. It's already data is available. So we actually try to analyze it and make it more sensible for the businesses. That's in short is business intelligence. And for that, there are a lot of tools available and there are a lot of programs and everything available. But the whole idea is how to manage the data meaningfully for the business.
Absolutely, sir. And so why business intelligence is crucial, as you have been explaining the meaning and everything, how it is evolving. Why is it so crucial in the present time?
Okay, let me start with a small story. In businesses, you have seen a sachet, shampoo sachet of this sachet business was started by Hindustan Liver or Unilever. And what was happened, shampoo is one part which was not accessible to Indian rural women because shampoo used to come in a container which was very expensive. And so the market research and data, actually the company came out with an innovative idea of putting it into a very, very small container, a pouch, and market it to all the rural. And today we have seen that has become the go-getter kind of a distribution strategy and packaging strategy for anybody and everybody to make that business. This is what crucial market information and reaction and the response of the business to be relevant to the relevant market to which they are targeting. And that is why business intelligence is very crucial in today's connected world and kind of a global village and in the internet and the social media. Anything and everything gets broadcasted to the entire world in a jiffy, in a second. And then what happens is people react. So we businesses, when we run a business, we need to understand what is acceptable, what do people want, the clients need something, and then the business has to be proactive to fulfill that gap or that need or that demand of the client. Otherwise, what the business feels itself, that what they have a very good product, the client, the public may not be wanting it. And for that, you need intelligence, you need data, you need analysis so that you can understand what is relevant, what is needed, and how you actually fulfill that gap. And that is why business intelligence very crucially tells you what is the reaction to the market to your product and services. What does the market want? What is the opportunity available in the market for what kind of product? And with this data, which is very relevant and proactively, the company can actually design their product, focus on it, and offer their services. So business intelligence is crucial in today's highly competitive and connected world. It is very difficult for business to remain in isolation. You can't remain in isolation. You need to be with the flow, with the tide, and you have to be sustainable. Competition is very huge, immediate competition. So you will not be able to survive unless you are on the cutting edge. And that is why you use technology and business data and convert it into business intelligence to be relevant for your business, to meeting your business objectives and goals, and to be sustainable, profitable, and keep on growing.
Sure, sir. And can modern businesses grow without business intelligence? What do you think about it?
Well, that's a $1 billion question, not even $1 million. It's a $1 billion question, because in today's world, can any business survive, grow, and be profitable? I think it is difficult. The landscape has changed so much. Technology, and particularly financial fintech, regulations on technology, all these things have really shaped a business landscape which is very, very dynamic. And it's almost like walking on water. It's underlyingly changing underneath your feet every moment. And therefore, any business has to be proactive and responsive. You need to actually find out what is coming next. Today we have seen AI. Before that, we were talking about data management and all sort of things. See, every day a new innovations in terms of product or services happens. How banking industry has changed. Today, you never visit a branch. And sometimes if you go, some banks charge you some fee for visiting branch. You see how banking has changed. And therefore, it is relevant that businesses see that what is coming to hit them. And that's why it is very, very important to be in sync with the world, with the client, and to grow. So business intelligence, I mean, anything without business intelligence and a proper information system, data management, I think very few localized domestic businesses may prosper in that limited geographical area. But if you are looking of a global and a national corporation, I think business intelligence is a crucial and integral part of business strategy, business growth, and business sustainability.
So, what do you see as the future of the business intelligence in the coming time?
Well, I think we have seen many fads come and go, but I believe the business intelligence for a business community is going to be there. It's going to stay there. It's going to help them. It's going to facilitate and enable businesses to grow in future, to remain meaningful, to remain contemporary, remain relevant, and design. I would say that any business which does not effectively use business intelligence and information technology would find it difficult to sustain. Sustainability is very important. And today, with the buzzword being the ESG, sustainability is going to be the corporate's main objective going forward, along with the climate and the governance, and all when you combine all these things, there is an underlying connection, which is basically using data and and arriving at a very intelligent, understandable solutions, so that can enable the businesses to be relevant and take proactive decision. I believe for a business information and business intelligence to be the the thing to go about. I think that is the key pivot around which businesses will develop their marketing strategy, improve their productivity, communication, and design their focus on designing their product which are relevant and which are acceptable and which will actually take them to the next level of growth. So for any business growth, I see a business intelligence future to be very, very bright, very, very important, relevant, and crucial for businesses to grow. That is the way forward. I believe that is around which the businesses, that business intelligence are going is going to define the way businesses function, the corporates actually conduct business. So it's a very crucial future, and I see it to be a very positive growth into business intelligence, and it might become one day it's a pivot which is on its own, and businesses will actually circle around that.
Absolutely, sir. And after getting so much of insight on business intelligence, my next question to you would be, what motivated you to pursue a career in the financial industry, and how has your journey shaped your approach to business?
Well, actually, I'll be candid. I'll share another story. I wanted to study science, but I thought the best way to progress would be to be the quickest one to get employed. And when I was talking, yes, I was in my 10th standard. I was looking around and asking people that, okay, which field will get you a job? So depending on whatever surrounding I had, people advised me at that time that if you do a typing and shorthand, if you learn that, you will get the quickest job because they were in demand. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to be a typist and a shorthand steno, then I might as well take commerce. And that's how I went into commerce field, and then of course the whole journey in the financial field started. But paradoxically, today I am also very slow typist and I don't understand stenography. So actually, the whole journey of finance sector is, in a way, you can say, accidental. I came in with different purpose, and then things started happening one by one, and then I came into this. And having spent nearly 2 decades into banking, then I said, okay, let me now change from banking to capital markets. And that's where I joined Bombay Stock Exchange. And then from there, moved on to commodity markets. So basically, the whole idea was to get a full view in the financial sector. And that's how today, helping startups, being a mentor to them, and actually working with the board of directors on corporate governance, ethical issues. These are all kind of journeys, stages which I went through. So yes, it has been an interesting journey.
Absolutely, sir. And as a former MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, what were the challenges you faced in demutualization, and how did you navigate through it?
Well, that's a very key question, and it calls for another story. Actually, when I was with the international bank, and then I was offered a job at Bombay Stock Exchange as a director of market surveillance, and I decided to join. And same time, a scam broke out in Indian capital market. And I had not to join. I was to join about 10 days before, after that. So everybody started advising me and saying that, yeah, all my well-wishers said, yeah, now why are you joining? Because already the Bombay Stock Exchange is under a cloud because the Indian capital market, a big scam is taken over. And so there was a question, but I just thought myself that if the same thing had happened if after I had joined, what would I do? I would actually handle the challenge and I'll tackle it. And that's how I said, despite all that, I said, let me join. And that's how I joined BSE at the peak of uh, challenges, I would say. And after that, I think it was very, I would say, providential that uh, something happened. The government actually said, okay, we need to restructure Bombay Stock Exchange, make it into a corporate entity, and then demutualize it, take away the vested interests and conflict of interest, and try to professionalize. So I consider that as been the biggest challenge of my career. Because if you say BSE was that time about 135-year-old organization, it was managed and owned by broking members. And I was kind of directed by the government to say, okay, go there, tell the members that this is not your company, I am taking it over, and you are no longer required. I think that was a huge challenge to really make it work. And yeah, with the cooperation of everybody, of course, government really helped me. Regulators, SEBI really enabled me to be able to, and all the relevant members and brokers and all other relevant people actually helped. But it was a very big challenge, which kept me awake all night. Sometimes it would be strange to see that I never used to go home for weeks, because when I was doing demutualization, I used to stay in my chambers and office and near about, so that we can actually do it in a time bound, because it was government and parliament's mandate to do it within a time frame. So that's how it happened. And ultimately, we almost got a $1 billion valuation for BSE. So that gives, it's a very satisfying, it's a very challenging journey. And it taught me a lot of things. That was a great tenure, I am sure about it.
Your story just explains the zillion of experiences that you have today with your. So, sir, can you also share your perspective on the current state of the Indian commodity exchange market and its potential for growth?
Okay, that calls for another story. Okay, you see, Indian commodity market, you can see MCX was the main exchange which really brought into focus the Indian commodity. Before that, the Indian commodity market was a very scattered market. Of course, going back to this history, we can see the cotton trading started by Indian Cotton Exchange. That was the first during British Raj. That was the first exchange which started trading commodity market. Commodity market is globally is a very big segment, and it is even bigger than in terms of value and turnover, bigger than the equity market, capital market. But commodity market is a lot of challenges. You have agriculture product, you have oil and gas, you have natural products, you have metal, a lot of things. It's not like a capital market where you have just one shares and few mutual funds and other things too. So it's a very complicated market, and the commodity market actually requires an underlying delivery mechanism and physical delivery, and for that physical quality control, storage, warehousing, a lot of things are connected when you look at that. So commodity market is a very complicated market, and yes, we went well into it. But then the integration of Forward Market Commission, which was the regulatory body for the commodity exchanges and futures contract, it was integrated with SEBI, and now things have actually changed the landscape. Regulatory landscape looks very different. But if you look at it, we have had one setback in terms of national spot exchange, and which actually shaken the foundation of the Indian commodities market space. And that has had a long range kind of an effect, because what was intended to be the counterparty trust that got shaken. It was unfortunate, but somehow our markets have grown. But I do believe that we need to focus more on developing commodity agricultural sector market, because that is where they connect with everybody. It touches everybody's life, whether it's farmer, whether it's a consumer at our end like you and me, and the entire intermediate section like warehousing, storage, distribution, all sort of things. So I would say we still need a lot more regulatory changes, and business has to actually come together with a lot of governance, a lot of regulations and transparency and corporate governance to make this a segment which will actually someday will make Indian commodity market to be the world's best. So we still have a lot of work cut out for the regulators, for the government, for the market and business players to do that.
Okay, sir. And so my next question would be that as a mentor and advisor, what are some of the key insights or advice you often share with individuals looking to scale up their businesses?
Okay, we look at startups. So it's a very vast field. It's very enthusiastic field, and I'm very happy to be connected with the startup field. But my experience with dealing with major startups have been that 90% of the people have a good intention, and they are very enthusiastic because most of the startups are youngster. They have just got a lot of ideas behind it. The thing is, and I think that is a danger point. That is a danger point, saying that when you are very, very committed to the idea, you believe in your idea, you sometimes get more over enthusiastic. You feel that you have got the final solution for a problem. Sometimes in practical aspects, it may not. For startups, I have seen people sometimes get into valuation game very early on. You have an idea, it's a good idea, you do a proof of concept, and you then go into Excel sheets and start projecting and start valuation X number of times. And that is where I think a more mature approach is required and a more practical approach is required, because we need to understand what we have as a product or a service to offer. What is the need? Which is the gap which we are filling? Because you may have a brilliant idea, but nobody is going to take it, then it's not and it's not going to fulfill anybody's need or a gap, then it may not work to the extent which you hope. And sometimes the startups get carried away in terms of valuation and getting that's a crucial point in terms of success or a failure. So I would say that is basically an issue which all startups have to be aware of, and they have to be more grounded rather than be very highly anticipative and aggressive in terms of valuation. Once they get that mix correctly, my experience is those 5 or 10% of unicorns, they really do something great. They have a very great way of approach, the positive approach. They are dedicated and they are excellent. So I hope that people learn the lesson and be more practical and be more pragmatic and be committed for a mid to long term rather than have a short term view.
Yes, sir. And let's call the story time again. And my next question to you would be to tell us about an example of a business turnaround you have experienced, been involved in, and the strategies you have implemented in that business turnaround thing that you'll help with.
Okay, it's a story time, but this time
Yes.
I won't, for obvious reasons I won't name. But the question which I have advised one or two, I mean, startups which are very dear to me would be, basically the idea of the startup promoter and the team was really good. They were committed. They had found out a gap which is very innovative, which was never there. The need was there, but nobody actually went in to search and find out whether there is a need, and there exists a gap in the existing uh, channel. And like a David and Goliath, they were actually, they have taken up a big market players, top one, two. In their challenge to fulfill that demand. And what we did was to do a slow and steady roll out, having tested all the proof of concept. The idea is to really do a proof of concept, expand it in a controlled manner, see, look at what is your cost expenditure structure, how you are able to meet the challenges on ground level, and then be dynamically amenable to make the change, even if it does mean that your major objective gets modified and you find out a new solution rather than the one which we started with. We need to be open, and that is what our strategy has been, always dynamic. Look at look at the market, look at the gap, and be on foot, instantly try to match the expectation and response, and be very positive and be committed, and do not look at what valuation we are looking. I think that has been one of the major key factor, that nobody actually went around for, okay, now we have done a proof of concept, I need so much finance. Now, okay, I have done so much business as a pilot project, now I want valuation. We said no, we will remain invested into and committed into the business objective and keep on doing that. And I believe that is a key for a success. And today I'm happy that those startups are actually looking at funding, they're looking at valuation, and they are doing great in terms of meeting the gap, and they're doing good. So maybe some of them may be a next unicorn. I just hope, keep my fingers crossed.
Definitely, sir. Fingers crossed. And this is one of the very amazing tip that you have said, that do not just go for the valuation, but also see about the portfolio of your business. So,
That's right.
so what role do you believe technology, particularly fintech and RegTech, will play in shaping the future of banking and finance in the coming years?
Okay. That's very relevant question, and that's a question which has been actually proven on ground, because the way our financial sector has changed, the way our banking sector has changed from the days of a nationalized bank to modern new Indian banks and global kind of bank, the way whole things are integrated and coming to fructify. I think it is time which is very modern. I believe technology has played the crucial role, and in fact, it has put the banking and financial sector onto the global level. And in terms of service delivery, the quality of debt, the quality of asset, and everything that has actually changed. The new regulation, in fact, I would call it tech regulation technology, has also really helped in terms of make mitigating risk management to the large extent. Yes, things have grown. Books have grown large, and therefore the risk has also grown along with it. But the data management, the connected technology has really helped banks to be able to manage the financial sector. We are seeing a lot of innovations into the financial sector, which is good in terms of covering the entire spectrum of businesses and the risk associated, providing risk management capability and risk capital. But at the same time, there is a caveat. We have seen the subprime lending fiasco internationally and how it actually killed very good organizations, global organizations, how it has impacted the global economy. We are living in a connected world, and particularly in terms of financial sector, we are totally connected, and nobody can live in isolation. So at global level, we need to manage the risk, manage the information data, have an integrated regulatory approach so that regulators can share information among themselves across borders, across countries, and then actually derive at a meaningful analysis. And at the domestic level, our financial risk assessment, the credit assessment, and the credit utilization has to use financial technology to do a good assessment and make dynamic changes. So I see financial technology and regulatory technology for a banking and financial field is the key stay. It now in the modern time, you cannot imagine a banking or a financial sector without technology. So that's how crucial and important it is.
So coming to the last but not the least, to the professional set of questions that we have today with us, how do you see the evolution of securities market and policy frameworks shaping the future of the financial industry?
Okay. Shall I tell you a story?
Yes, definitely, sir.
Okay. Uh, you see, I believe in theory is very dry. Let us look at the practical aspect. See, we have seen since 2001, we have had certain mishaps in Indian capital market, and we have seen since then our regulatory oversight and regulators have really come out very, very, very strong. This is something which I must appreciate, that the government and the regulator have really both come together along with the stock exchanges and the market players, all the actors in the financial world. They have come together to really ensure that the regulations are not just a tick box exercise, but it is implemented. And that is where technology has played a crucial role. You see, today, BSE is amongst the world's, it is the world's fastest exchange. I believe we are now into settlement T+1, the next day of settlement, where even the advanced nations exchanges are not able to meet that. So in terms of technology, governance, and regulation, our Indian capital market has done excellent. What is slightly not there in required quantum is the retail participation. We still need a well spread nearly 20 to 40% range of retail participation in the equity market to get enough depth. And in a capital market, what happens is, in securities market, actually a depth is very important. The more depth and width your market has, the less the chances of manipulation. And the narrow and the shallow the depth, the more it is prone for manipulation. So that is where we need, and of course, with the government opening up and allowing FII flows, maybe partial FDI, all those incoming investment and outgoing investment outside the country, and linking up with different markets. I believe that in due course, not today, not tomorrow, but in due course, I look at it as an globally integrated securities market, Indian securities market. And that would actually pave way for full capital account convertibility, and full integrated, that we may also have an indirect implications for our rupee valuation in terms of forex.
Yes.
I do believe Make in India is coming up, Made in India is coming up. I think everything put together, I am very positive in terms of the Indian capital market growth and width and sustainability.
That is it for our professional set of questions. So now let's get ahead with the conversation with the personal set of questions, where we would like to know a little much better about you and how you are and how in your personal life. So my first question to you would be, sir, that how do you balance your personal and professional life, considering your demanding roles and responsibilities? You have held one of the most important posts in our country, and Bombay Stock Exchange, and handling all these startups and everything that you have been doing. How are you maintaining your balance, finding your balance in your life?
Okay. I would like to put that question to the audience. Please give me a right solution of balancing rightly. Frankly speaking, we may have a lot of advices or we may receive a lot of advices, a lot of Gyan therapy, but practically there is no 50-50 or there is no perfect balance. As there is no perfect market in economics, there is no perfect work-life balance, at least in our context. But yeah, everybody tries to manage within his or her own set and situation and within the landscape which they operate to try to manage. And it's a very, very challenging task for all professionals, be it he or she, be it a CEO or any executive. I think it is a very difficult task. As far as personally, I believe that whenever I have time, I go out for a long drive with my family. And that is how I try to balance, because that really, and of course, thank God, my family also likes that sort of long journeys. And that's what we try to relax. And of course, how can you relax when you're driving? But that's a paradox. I do see. And that's the way I try to balance. And yeah, it's working. It's working. Second thing is being having a level of satisfaction in what you do. I think the moment you feel satiated, you feel okay, I've done something. I think immediately your stress levels will go down and it will give you that peace of mind. It may be right now you may be sitting in a board meeting, but if you have done a good job, you have presented or you have really done your bit in terms of contribution to the company or a corporate or a board or whatever you are doing it, and you feel that yes, I've done a good job. I think that really removes the stress, and that's the easiest thing because it's personal to you, it's professional to you. The idea is to look at positively and feel that yeah, I've done a good job, and that I believe that takes away a lot of stress, and that tries to help you maintain little bit of a balance to the extent possible.
Yes, sir. And what is the most valuable lesson that you have learned throughout your professional journey till date?
Well, it's very simple uh, and difficult. Be honest to yourself. That is one line. All my different roles and everything, I think I give that as a preference. Am I being honest to myself? That's a question I ask. And if I find that, yeah, no, I'm not very comfortable with that, then I actually like to speak my mind and do the right thing, which I believe. Because I believe you can always pretend, you can put up a mask on your face, you can do anything for others, but you can't really put a mask for yourself. You need to look into the mirror and you should be able to see yourself, not the one which the world sees you. And therefore, I believe in one thing: be honest to yourself in whatever you do. And it has been a simple formula in a way, and it has been working so long for me.
Your greatest source of inspiration or role model in your career?
Well, one way to look at it would be to look at the entire big one, whoever it is, the famous ones, and look at people and see. But I think that is a little different way. I look at differently. I would say I draw inspiration from Lord Krishna and
Yes.
Chanakya. I mean, these are two, because I am into financial field, I'm into strategic. I think Chanakya is one person whom I really look at his strategies and his ways. And Lord Krishna gives you somehow it resonates with me. You know, he's like a mentor. No, who doesn't, of course, come on a Zoom call with me,
Yes.
but but I do find that whenever I feel I'm stuck or I want a solution, I look at him. I mean, I'll just think about him, and I do find that yes, he gives me that sort of guidance. That is what is required.
So, sir, do you have any book or movie that has left any kind of profound impact on your life or career? Can you recall of something?
Okay, there have been a lot many books, and if I've just come to look at it, say Alchemist from Paulo Coelho is as a great book. But leaving aside affection and those one, for me, I think Mahabharata and Gita, they are two books which have left a huge impact on me. I do see that provides you everything which you can come across, and that provides a solution for everything which you can come across. I would say that is a full-fledged encyclopedia of situation which might arise in one's life and guidelines. I believe that way. And of course there are so many other inspirational and factional and non-fictional books, but that's at a second level.
So do you have any favorite quote or mantra that you live by? And if so, what is it? And why do you resonate with that quote or mantra?
Okay, I really don't believe in that sort of a mantra, but I would again come back to the same thing, that be honest to yourself. That is my mantra to go through in life, and I believe that covers everything for me, because that integrity, that honesty to oneself is very, very important. And once you cover that, I would say that's it.
So my last question to you for the personal set of questions would be, what is the most memorable vacation or a travel experience you have had? Where and how? Why was it so special to you that you hold it so close to your heart?
Oh God, it calls for another story. Okay.
We are loving this story time, sir. So please be free and tell us as much story as you would want. We are all ears.
Okay. Okay. It was about me and my wife. We were doing almost an all India tour by car, and it was monsoon, and we were traveling non-stop from Varanasi to Kolkata, and we were passing at night through Bihar. It was a rainy day. It was thunderstorm. It was raining. It was dark, and in a part of a road there was no coverage, and the entire highway was dug up because it was being rebuilt or built. And we were chased by some goons in two cars, and I mean, we had a almost a Bollywood or a Hollywood movie car chase for about an hour, passing through all this dark night and maybe 1 or 2 p.m. a.m. in the night, and high speed car chase. We were being chased, and somehow we managed to evade them and reach our destination. So I believe that was something which very few people will get to experience. I have seen such chases in cars, chases in movies, but to believe that it would happen to me in real life, uh, that was very challenging and life changing, I would say, because that day, almost if something had happened, even if I had a breakdown or a puncture, it would have been a very different story for both of us.
Definitely, sir. And we are like very happy that nothing bad happened. And we are just sitting here on a Zoom call discussing that incident. So, yeah. So that was it for the personal set of questions also, sir. So we are now to the end of our today's conversation, and let's end this entire conversation and session with a fun rapid fire round. So I would be asking you questions and you have to be very quick with the answers, like as possible.
Oh my God, you are testing me. Okay,
No,
go
sir,
ahead.
it's just for one. Like you don't have to think anything before you answer. It's just that whatever's in your mind, you have to speak.
Okay,
So
okay, go on.
to be a lot of questions, just a few. So my first question is that what is the best advice that you have ever received?
My God, that you're putting me to think, huh?
So
No,
that
no,
is
no.
the thing. You don't have to think and you have to be very quick.
Okay. Best advice I have received so far was from my mother. And he said, always speak your mind. She said that. And that's the best advice. And I have always try to follow it.
What is your favorite rainy day activity?
To ride my motorcycle, go for a long drive.
What is your favorite holiday memory from childhood? Not adulthood, but childhood.
Traveling in a very, very crowded train with my parents and almost getting thrown off the train. So that was a memory. And that journey, of course, touchwood, it ended nicely, but that was a story, another story.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Butterscotch.
What type of music do you like the most?
I have an eclectic taste, but I like blues, soft pop blue.
Great. And my last question would be, are you a mountain person or a beach person?
I'm a mountain person.
Peace. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. That was it for the rapid fire. Also, it was a very fun rapid fire. It was very fun and very insightful conversation that we have had together today. I am sure many businesses and startups have gained a lot of insights with the conversation and the tips that you have shared with them. Our audiences would be very delighted with the whole package that we are going to deliver with this session. Thank you so much for joining. It has been great talking to you. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time. Thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. It was really indeed a pleasure to converse on very, very wide range of topics. And I hope that it was enjoyable. At the same time, it was useful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.